An interesting paradigm when looking at dominance in society is its elusive nature. The invisible group is always the one in control, and this is something that white America doesn't understand. So when I say gender, we think of women. When I say race, we think of people of color. When I say sexual orientation, we think of homosexuals, bisexuals, and the transgendered. When we put our minds together, asking ourselves what's to be done with these minorities, we ask, why can't we all just be humans? Never realizing that our definition of human is straight, white, and male. Robert Jensen, I think, best sums this up in his book, The Heart of Whiteness. Let's go back to the question that W.E.B. Du Bois said he knew was on the minds of white people. In the opening of The Souls of Black Folk, Du Bois wrote that the real question that whites wanted to ask him, but were afraid to, was, how does it feel to be a problem? Du Bois was identifying a burden that blacks carried, being seen by the dominant society not as people, but as a problematic people, as people who posed a problem for the rest of society. Du Bois was right to identify the color line as a problem of the 20th century, but now, in the 21st century, it is time for whites to self-consciously reverse the direction of that question at the heart of color. It's time for white people to fully acknowledge that in the racial arena, we are the problem. We have to ask ourselves, how does it feel to be a problem? Allow me to answer this question for myself personally. At first, I was humiliated and defensive. Then I was self-righteous and hostile. I grieved and mourned for the loss of the collective consciousness of white America. And here I stand now, humbled before all of you, still unable to answer the question. The white man's burden, my burden, is that there's been no acknowledgement of our role in the racial spectrum. At best, we have some dim vision of the presence of racism, and at worst, we see nothing at all. During my initial confrontation of racism, I asked in outraged defiance, how am I a part of racism? Why can't you be just as racist as I can? Racism is prejudice with the application of power. My privilege is my power. Peggy McIntosh wrote a small list of such privileges. These are some that open my eyes. I can, if I wish, arrange to be in the company of people of my race most of the time. I can avoid spending time with people whom I was trained to mistrust and who have learned to mistrust my kind or me. I can go shopping alone most of the time, pretty well assured that I won't be followed or harassed. I can turn on the television or open the front page of the paper and see people of my race widely represented. When I'm told about our national heritage or about civilization, I am shown that the people of my color made it what it is today. I can be pretty sure that my voice will be heard in a group which I am the only member of my race. I'm never asked to speak for all the people of my racial group. I can be pretty sure that when I ask to see the person in charge, I will be facing a person of my race. I can choose blemish cover or bandages in flesh color and have them more or less match my skin. The question is not what's to be done with these minorities, because globally, collectively, and historically, white identity has always been the true minority in racial consciousness. So really, the only way America can reach some semblance of progress is if white Americans turn to each other and ask, what's to be done with us? What can we do to improve ourselves? I am a problematic entity, still unable to function completely in this cosmos. My only comfort is the privilege that I've inherited. And this is what white America has to come to terms with. This is our problem. Thank you.